This is an International Harvester TD24 crawler with a superior Pipelayer attachment on it. It's made by SpecCast and it's in 1/25th scale. Now SpecCast, mostly what they make is in 1/16 scale, like farm tractors, but they do have a couple of pieces of construction equipment in 1/25th scale, and they do a pretty good job with them. They look pretty good next to the first gear 1/25th scale models, but the SpecCast ones tend to be a little bit older than what first gear has done, but they still look pretty good next to each other. They're both of similar quality, and the same with the level of detail. They generally make a pretty good model. I think SpecCast uses a little bit too much plastic on their farm toys, the tractor models, but here it's used pretty sparingly, and I think it works out pretty good because you wind up with a pretty good older Pipelayer. Like I said, this is an older model of a crawler. I want to say this is probably like maybe 50s, early 60s. I'm not really certain, but it's definitely older. Well, I mean, really, it's in red. International didn't make very many crawlers in red after the 60s. They went to all is it Federal Yellow? I can't remember. But yeah, all their construction line was yellow after a certain point. So I mean, that just says a lot right there. As far as the model itself goes, it is really heavy. It's got a good weight to it. It's got a really good feel to it. It's very solidly built. It displays really well. The tracks being, they're not unpainted. I guess they're going for just like the bare metal look or whatever. That's a little interesting. I don't think it takes away from the model. It still looks pretty good. The tracks are very good. They're very well done. Same with the undercarriage and everything. It just looks really good. If you take a peek inside the motor there, it's really kind of an interesting choice. So it's supposed to be a diesel engine, right? And you got your what I would imagine is your injector pump right there, and your injector lines look like spark plug lines. Sure, it's not, what they meant it to be, but instead of being like the metal injector lines, they look like spark plug lines. They really do. It's really kind of interesting. Anyway, overall though, it really don't look too bad. Not really sure what's going on there on the exhaust side. I'm not sure what that is exactly. Anyway, so that's a little bit curious. Certainly interesting. It's a minor detail, but it's something that I noticed, and I think it kind of stands out a little bit. The other thing that stands out just a hair is the use of the regular Phillips head screws on some of the attachment points there. You see one right there. They just stick out a little bit because you have just a really good presentation, then you have a screw. Just it seems almost like an afterthought, really. Anyway, if you take a look at the operator station, it looks pretty good in there. They got all the controls and levers and everything stuck in there, and looks pretty good. Same thing with the winch system. You got plenty of rope to make something happen. Imagine if you wanted to display it carrying a pipe or whatever, or picking up a railroad car. I don't know if you that had to be a pretty big railroad car, to be honest. 1/25th scale, that thing would be massive. Anyway, you got plenty of rope to do whatever you want to do, which is nice. There is a key somewhere in the box to run the winch, so you can run it out any which way you want, which is nice. Overall, though, it's a nice model. It really is. It looks really good sitting on the shelf. The paint is really good on it. All the decals are very good. Like I said, there is very little plastic on this crawler, which I'm a fan of. I think it looks really good, and overall, it's a really nice model. I've had a couple of the SpecCast crawlers, and they're all pretty good. Like I said, they're older, so they don't really fit with the first gear stuff, like time-wise, but they're still nice models. And like I said, they look great on the shelf. Anyway, that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask. If you'd like to see more of what we have, please subscribe to Maryland Construction Diecast. And thanks for watching.